Oh yeah. Good morning everybody, Isaiah here with Water's Power Washing. Today I will be attempting a third video, yes, third video of the pressure relief valve on the Predator pump. First time I ordered the wrong size pressure relief valve. The second time I did the whole video, edited, was ready to upload it, and I realized I did not hook up the hose correctly. It's one of those, you know, when you say something, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and you do it the opposite. So that's what happened. So this is take 3 of a pressure relief valve full install on a Predator pump from Harbor Freight. Let's get into it. This is what my current setup looks like. I've updated my 90-degree to just a straight 1-inch coupler into a 1-inch banjo barb. I still have my what I call cheaper shot. There's my clean water coming out of there, and then there's my up on the batch mix tank on the other side. So what I'm gonna do today is attach the pressure relief valve, and the idea is I'm gonna attach a picture here. So what we're gonna do is move the water or chemical, whatever side I'm using, back into the suction side. Now, because I have 2 suction sides technically, I'm gonna go with the chemical end. So for that, we're gonna need some tools and some parts. So here's what I'm going with today. We got the world famous Valley Industries 3/4 out, and this is where I got wrong multiple times. I kept on getting the 3/4 when I needed the 1/2 inch, because this little buddy right here is a 1/2 inch. So that's gonna go in there. Then I'm gonna have a 3/4 barb to where it's gonna eject whatever is back pressuring over here into my 3/4 hose, and this hose can be reattached back into the suction side. And how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna tee off the suction side. This is a 1-inch tee to a 3/4. So as it circulates, it goes back into the suction side, back into the suction side, until I hit the trigger again. So that's the idea. Speaking of the suction side, this is where it's very important that you have to get right. If you have a blend valve, you would have to have another side. So when I build my blend valve, I'll have a 3rd entrance or 4th entrance if you're running 3 valves, to where it sucks it back in and keeps it moving through the pump. All right, so the exit valve is what you really want to get right, because what you could do is you could just have a hose, and what the hose will do, the hose will just, you could dump it into one side if you're running water, or you can move it back into the chemical side if you're running chemical. You could do that. I think that's too much work. I think where with this setup, gonna get the most release off the trigger is when I'm putting my chemical down. I got a roof wash coming up, and I have a big building that we're gonna do at 6%, almost 5-6%. So I'm gonna be off the trigger on the chemical side. I don't rinse with this because I have an 8-gallon and a 5-gallon. But if I do rinse, I'm usually on the trigger consistently, whereas the chemical, you're coming on and off, down the ladder, up the ladder, etc. So keep that in mind on where you want your suction and how you want your suction done. So let's get into the actual putting together side. Let's release the pressure, and let's release the rest of them. I'll put it on this side. The water. So we'll let that empty out. Release the pressure. We have to do our seal. I will not be attaching this just yet. We're actually gonna insert this first and then angle this the correct way and then put this in because I don't have the clearance. And there we have it. Let's fire it up and see at what point does it shoot the pressure out. I got my hose pulled out. Let's fire this up. And let's be on and off the trigger to see when does the pressure relief valve actually start working. So there's a little bit of pressure that's being released when I'm even on the trigger, and that's mainly because I have a 5/8 line and I got a 3/8 quick plug-in. So it's still having to release some of that pressure, which is also good. So I'm gonna leave it at that point and, you know, play around with your settings, and I'm gonna do a little bit more fine-tuning with my gun to see what flow and distance changes. But I know I have restrictions, so there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and attach my T with the 3/4 line, the discharge line, I think that's what it's called. The discharge line, we're gonna get that going, and I'm gonna put mine on the chemical side. Whereas you can, remember, choose where you want your discharge at, or you could have it on the blend valve, going back at the top. There's just lots of ways to do it, but this is the way that's going with just my basic batch mix system. I think I'm gonna go with just a shorter hose, so I don't need all that over there. I got the T that would actually go real well in more of a here position. And I think this is a good place for me to cut the line. This is my main suction line. I'm gonna cut it probably about here and then do a T in the T. So this is a kick out line, and then it sucks it back in. If I'm off the trigger, then it circulates it back in, and so on and so on and so on. Especially if it goes on the outlet hose first, goes to the hose reel, does its business there. So that creates a nice long loop, and I think this is a good place to insert my T. There you have it. Let's tighten that down and put some hose clamps on it. There we have it. There's our T coming to the suction line with the valve spitting it back out to the suction line to circulate. Let's fire it up and watch it in action. So there you have it, a fully functioning pressure release valve on the Predator pump, 1-inch pump from Harbor Freight. I hope you saw where the water wasn't really coming out, so I released a little bit and then closed it back in to let the pressure actually release. I did lose a little bit of distance when I had the pressure relief valve 2 open, so I closed it in a little bit there, and it gave me my distance back, and it was circulating when I was off the trigger. So I hope you got to see that. Again, take 3. I think I got it right. I'm gonna stick with this. I got a roof job and a building wash coming up that I will be using this pump, and I will get to test the pressure relief valve in action. Comment, any questions, please subscribe to the channel. Hope you liked the video. Till next time.